where I really want to talk to you guys about helpful tips that will help you in case there is storm or emergency, anything. Matthew chapter 7 verse 24 to 27 talks about two builders. One was wise, the other was foolish. The wise man built on a solid rock, built his house on a solid rock, and the foolish man built his house on the sand. The wise man and the foolish man, they went through a challenge where there was a storm. The storm rose, the rain fell, the wind blew against both houses, and I'm stressing on that because sometimes a lot of people think once you become a believer, life gets perfect and there's no challenges, there's no hard. In fact, if you are going through a hard time, it means you have done something against God. It's not true. It's not true, because we know also for a fact that it rains both on the just and the unjust. Storms of life happens to both builders, but the foolish man's house was gone. And just as the word of God has been sent to us to guide us on our journey in life, the word of God can be applied in all areas of our life. So in this sense, even though the house, he was talking in relation to rain and the storm, the house is a metaphor for our lives. And the storms, the rain, the wind, the blew, they represent challenges, the hard times, things that happen to everyone, whether believer or not. Okay, I'll give you an example. When I was not a believer, I called myself a Christian, but I wasn't really living for God. There were challenges that I faced, and most of the time I was challenged. I was so hit by those challenges that I got so depressed and almost committed suicide several times, And I also realized that even though I have given my life to Christ now, I've got challenges. In fact, I think about 2 months ago, I got COVID. I never thought I would get COVID. And when I got COVID, I was in so much shock. If you have not seen that video, you should check it out. And that also represents a storm that is happening to me, even though I was a believer. But I promise you, and I tell you, God got me healed within a week, and within a week I had bounced back. I was fine. I still had to stay on quarantine. I couldn't go back to work because I had to complete the quarantine period, but I was back and strong and bouncing. And now I look at me, I'm even stronger and healthier than I used to be, So that's another example. I'm trying to stress on the fact that we, both the believer and the unbeliever, we go through challenges. The difference that makes when you know God and you have an encounter with Christ and God is your foundation is that you will survive whatever challenges that comes to you. With that all said and done, we trust God to guide us and to lead us into the path of righteousness and safety and all that, but God has also given us wisdom and knowledge to navigate this life, okay? And he tells us to walk wise, So I'm talking today practically about helpful things that you can do that can help you when there is any emergency. So physical, God takes care of us, both the physical and the spiritual, but there are some things we can do physically to get us prepared for hard times, for emergencies that can happen to us in life. And that could be maybe blackout, power outage, storms, hurricanes happening, financial, it just happens you don't have money, to prepare you for any challenges that could come at any time. My first on the list, because you can't get past this, and this has worked for me, and so that's why I share it. You want to make sure you know God, you have given your life to Christ, because He is your solid foundation. You need that checked, okay? If you want to survive any storm that happens in your life, it's only God that can help you. One thing that you want to have is food storage. I think in 2020 when they said there was going to be food shortages and all that, I wasn't panicking. I wasn't so worried at all because I knew I had some food stored. So when it comes to storing food, you want to get foods that are have a long shelf life, like beans and legumes, has rice, you don't want brown rice. Brown rice has some oil in it, so it's not good for long term. And you want to repack whatever stuff that you buy, and maybe canned foods that have a long term shelf life. You want to check expiry date and make sure they at least can go 4 or 5 years. But you buy rice, even sugar, salt, make sure you repack them, because sometimes when they usually come in the actual packages they come in, they are not really packaged to stand for a long time. Okay, that's why sometimes salt can get very hard. Yes, even in their original container. So you want to repack them into a different container and seal it airtight. Okay? Another thing that I also got was the scissors. I don't know if you can see it. I got it at the army store, and it's a scissors. It has it's like a 12-in-1 scissors. Okay, and you can see the feature. It has so many things, and I'm going to read. It's a scissors, knife, magnet, screwdriver, wrench, can opener, bottle opener, fish scaler, nut cracker, wire stripper, wire cutter, and jaw wrench. So this is like a helpful thing to have if there's an emergency. You can cut, you can poke, you can whatever you want to do. I got a survival kit. Yes, a survival kit. It has so many things: fire sticks, blade, needle, pencil, antiseptic pad, salt packet, so many things. It has 46 pieces of stuff, like a whole lot that you need. Things that you never really think that you need when you're in an emergency. It comes in handy. So I will encourage you to get a survival kit from any. You should get it even in the local stores, not only in the army store. You can also get this on Amazon. So I will encourage you to check that out. Get a first aid box. Very, very helpful. It comes with some bandages and basic stuff. I would encourage you to also get some painkillers. I don't know what your needs are, but you want to have at least a first aid box with some basic stuff that in our day-to-day we need every now and then. There is also a camping wood stove. Wood stove, you can just put pieces of twigs and leaves, even dried leaves, sticks, and you can still make a fire with it in case there is blackout and you can't use power to cook anything. That can come in handy. I guess it should be also on Amazon. I'll try and see if I can find the links and share them also so that it's easy for you to find. So these are helpful things, like I said, will be good to have prepared for an emergency or a storm, because we all have no control when those storms can hit us, but at least you live wise and prepare ahead, and God will help you through. I have some torchlight in. I have some matches. I have blankets. Oh yes, you need blankets. Okay, it will be good to have the emergency kit for your car. These are basic things, basic things, and you just want to have them packed into a bag and keep somewhere in your house, anywhere, so that in case of any emergency, you just grab and ready to go. You need an emergency radio. I can't stress on that. That will really be helpful, because you want to be able to tune in to get information on what is going on and all that. And most of the emergency radio comes with a torchlight. It comes with antenna to be able to even signal lights too. Okay, so that will be helpful. You will also want to have at least a compass. Most of the survival kits might have a compass too. So when you get that, it has so many things. They come with a survival guide which can help you survive, whether in the woods, anywhere, and so these are things that you have to think of. I think that is all for today. If I remember anything else, I'll just post them down in the comments. I hope this message has been helpful in any way. If it did, give me a thumbs up, a like, or share to others as well, so that they can also be prepared for any challenges that can come in the future. And as usual, please don't ever forget or doubt that Jesus truly loves and cares about you. When I discovered that, my life has not been the same again. Be blessed, and until I come your way another time, God willing, stay safe. Bye bye. Share, like, subscribe, and hit the bell.